How many years have slipped through your fingers because you were too caught up in things that don't matter? Be honest. We live in a world where grown adults lose sleep over likes, over some half-baked comment from a colleague, or whether they looked presentable enough during a Zoom call. Everyone's chasing validation like it's the secret ingredient to happiness. But ask yourself, what's the payoff? The truth is, caring too much about the wrong things is draining the life out of you. It's weakening you, and you're not the first to struggle with this. Over 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius, yes, the Roman emperor who ruled the most powerful empire in the world, wrote to himself about this very problem. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. His writings weren't meant for public consumption. They were reminders that fame is a distraction, that criticism means nothing, that the opinions of others should never sit in the driver's seat of your life. Now think about this. What are you carrying around in your mind right now that isn't yours to carry? What opinions or petty judgments have you given free rent to today? Why are you handing over your power to people or situations that hold zero real value in your life? Marcus led armies, governed empires, and still, in the privacy of his thoughts, he reminded himself daily, focus only on what you can control. He trained himself to stop giving a damn about gossip, reputation, or even praise. While you're glued to your phone, checking if someone liked your latest post, Marcus was reminding himself that what others think is none of his business. Do you really think he became one of history's greatest rulers by obsessing over how he was perceived? By worrying about popularity? Number. He knew something most people still haven't realized. When you stop caring about what doesn't matter, you become a force to be reckoned with. Let's stop pretending that caring always makes you virtuous. Most of the time, it's just fear in disguise. Fear of not being liked, fear of being left out, fear of falling behind. Your concern is often just insecurity hiding behind a well-meaning mask. You lie awake, haunted by things outside your control. You mentally rehash arguments. You stress over events you can't influence. And for what? Marcus would call that madness. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But most people do the opposite. They obsess over every little detail they can't control. They attach their worth to feedback, to strangers' opinions, to metrics that change every day, and then wonder why they feel powerless. Here's where the paradox kicks in, the part most people completely miss. When you stop caring about the nonsense, you gain the power to master what actually matters. That's the twist. The moment you let go of the social games, the comparisons, the endless loop of what will they think, your mind sharpens like a blade. You become focused, grounded, almost untouchable. Look at Marcus again. When he stopped caring about praise, no one could manipulate him. When he stopped caring about comfort, he built discipline that couldn't be broken. When he stopped caring about applause, he was finally free to pursue real excellence. And he said it clearly. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, not your likes, not your income, not your image, your thoughts. How much of your mental energy right now is bleeding out into things that, in the grand scheme of your life, mean nothing? The algorithm doesn't care about your purpose. Social media thrives on your emotional reactions, your addictions to attention, and your fear of being irrelevant. And that's not an accident, it's by design. We live in an age that constantly convinces you to care about things that weaken you. You're trained to have a hot take on every trending headline, to prove your success to people you'll never meet, to be liked by everyone, even those who drain your spirit. Marcus would have laughed at this madness, not because he was heartless, but because he saw the absurdity. He wrote, "Remember how long you've been putting this off? At what point will you stop wasting your life? These distractions are eating your life in tiny bites, and you're letting them." But Stoicism isn't about becoming a cold robot who cares about nothing. No, the real Stoic power is in selective caring. You care, but you're strategic about it. You're not tossed around by every emotional wave. You plant your feet firmly in values that actually matter. Marcus cared deeply about justice, about courage, about doing the right thing even when it hurt. But fame, status, wealth, he trained himself to see them as illusions, as traps. He was no monk in a cave, he was an emperor. Yet he mastered the ability to ignore what most people chase their whole lives. Now, imagine what you could do if you adopted this mindset. If criticism didn't shake you, if you weren't constantly chasing approval, if discomfort didn't scare you, that's not just mental strength, it's freedom. The kind of freedom that turns you into someone who can make hard decisions, speak hard truths, and do hard things. What would happen if you stopped caring about your follower count, your neighbor's opinion, or your coworker's gossip? What if you stopped replaying the past, stopped fearing a future that hasn't happened, and started putting your energy into what you can control? So, how did Marcus Aurelius actually live this out? How did he train himself to stop caring about the noise? First, perspective. He constantly reminded himself of how small he was in the grand scheme of the universe. He wrote, "Soon you will have forgotten all things, and soon all things will have forgotten you." When you really absorb that, today's drama looks pathetic. That awkward conversation, that rude comment, that post you're obsessing over, none of it will matter. Not in a year, not even in a week, probably not even by tomorrow morning. Perspective shrinks your stress. Second, focus on action, not outcome. Marcus believed your job is to do what's right, not to control what happens next. He said, "Concentrate every minute on doing what's in front of you. That's the game. You show up. You act with discipline, justice, and courage. The rest? It's background noise. When you attach your worth to your effort, not the outcome, you stop riding the emotional roller coaster of external rewards and punishments." Third, rationality. He constantly examined his own reactions. He asked himself, is the pain coming from the thing or from how I'm thinking about it? And more often than not, it was his interpretation of the event that caused the distress. That's a skill most people never develop, but once you do, you unlock serious emotional freedom. Imagine applying this when someone insults you. Instead of spiraling, you ask, is this helpful? If yes, great, use it. If no, discard it. Move on. Why stay stuck in emotional quicksand when you could walk free with your energy intact? And let's be clear, Marcus wasn't promoting apathy. He wasn't telling you to check out of life or pretend nothing matters. He was teaching discernment, care about your integrity, care about how you treat people, care about truth, discipline, wisdom, and courage. Care about making your life meaningful. But don't waste a single drop of emotional fuel on people's approval, on things beyond your control, or on hollow status games. Now, ask yourself, what if you eliminated every useless thing you care about? What kind of laser focus would you unlock? What kind of inner peace? This isn't hypothetical. It's available to you right now. But here's the catch. It takes courage to not care. Real courage. You'll face pushback. Your friends will look at you differently. Your feed will scream at you to care. Your own mind, conditioned by years of needing approval, will beg you to fall back in line. But ask yourself this. Are the people begging you to care really happy? Are they grounded, powerful, free? Marcus wrote, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." He knew what you're just now realizing. Most people are trapped in nonsense, caring about nonsense, ruled by nonsense. You want real power? Step outside of it. The ultimate power move is not caring about the wrong things, not fearing rejection, not chasing praise, not needing to be seen as right. When you master that, you become bold, free, sharp. You say what needs to be said. Do what needs to be done. Live how you were meant to live. Marcus said it best. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. You're not lacking anything. You just need to reclaim the energy you've been giving away. So, here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, stop checking for validation. Stop caring about strangers' opinions. Stop comparing yourself to anyone. Stop worrying about things you can't control. Just 1 week. Then measure your focus, your energy, your clarity. I guarantee you'll feel what Marcus felt. When you care less about what doesn't matter, you become more in tune with what does. Because in the end, we're all running out of time. The question isn't if your life ends, it's whether you'll waste it on things that mean nothing. Marcus warned us, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." So, stop caring about noise and start living with intent. If this message resonated with you, subscribe for more timeless insights that cut through the noise. Hit like to spread the wisdom and share this with someone who's pouring their power into the wrong things. Because in the end, the power is yours. What will you do with it?